I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it so the nostalgia critic doesn't have to. And neither should you. What happens when you combine Will Ferrell, Napoleon Dynamite, Mr. Incredible, Will Arnett, and Amy Poehler, along with appearance by Luke Olson? You get an epic battle of the ice, skating for glory and honor and dignity and pride, and it's going to lead to some greatness, which would be awesome if it were a hockey movie, but instead we got Blades of Glory. Blades of Glory is a mid-2000s film that, again, stars Will Ferrell in another attempt to dominate a sport. This time in the rink with ice skating. Can he triumph and get the gold medal? Not when Napoleon Dynamite has something to say about it. Or does he? This is Blades of Glory. Credit for the movie does go to DreamWorks. And no, this is not for monetary purposes. This is strictly for review. Although it would be fitting that DreamWorks would be in charge of this, seeing as how Blades of Glory, the dream of pursuing the ice rink title beyond your wildest imaginations. And MTV is also in charge of this as well. Thank God there was no Napoleon Dynamite, although their intro's interesting with the bunch of astronauts, but okay. We start with the song that capped off the climatic ending to Step Brothers 1 year later, but it shows Little Orphan Annie. No, I'm sorry. This is Napoleon Dynamite. I mean, not Napoleon Dynamite, but the guy who played Napoleon Dynamite. Skating as a young pup. Yes, played by, you guessed it, Jon Heder. Because he's desperately trying to prove that he's not just Napoleon Dynamite, as evidenced by benchwarmers. And much like in benchwarmers, yeah. See? Some other kids are playing hockey, because that's a man's game. Man. The guy who was held hostage 1 year later in The Dark Knight by the Joker is also in this movie playing the dad as he adopts Napoleon Dynamite. Even though it's not Napoleon Dynamite. And by the way, if you're wondering who Mr. Incredible was, that was Craig T. Nelson. That's who's in this movie. Oh, God bless that perm of a blondie who will give us high hopes as we transition into his adult life. And there is Napoleon Dynamite, and go figure, he plays a swan. Good fucking God, did he seriously have to get a peacock tail and a back? Oh my fucking God. Of course, he and James Michael are rivals. So the galloping peacock, I guess, is on. He puts together a hell of a score. We see his background story.
Some of the most successful racehorses in the world, Darren turned his attention to nurturing athletically.
Because it's not all about the horses that you can train to be gold and glory. It's all about the skating. Because skating?
With his father's state-of-the-art, some say questionable training methods, this child prodigy was forged into an uber skater.
So after we hear his background story, we enter in James Michael. Played by Will Ferrell, fresh off his glory in Talladega Nights. You might refer to him as skating sex demon. I think Playboy would appreciate that quite too much. As he shows off his skating moves, which I personally think are more badass than Mr. McElroy. Although a little bit perverted. So, in a shocking development, we hear his background story. He was underground in Detroit and was raised.
An ice-devouring sex tornado spawned in the hellfires of Motown. Trouble child?
All about that Motown music, baby.
35-year-old girlfriend troubled.
So they get the same score, like the exact same scores. And they fucking tie, and everyone's wondering, what the fuck's going on? How do you tie a gold fucking medal? Shouldn't there be like a tiebreaker? But no, in the spirit of the movie, we're gonna give these two the tie so that way they have to share the damn podium. They're shocked too.
I brought you a gold medal. Oh, you brought me half a gold medal. If I wanted him to share, I'd have brought him a brother.
Wow, that's cold. No pun intended because of the ice. But why the hell would you fire a trainer for that? Oh yeah, and we get to see the background story of the main rivals, Strauss and Fairchild, played by Will Arnett, aka Batman, and Amy Poehler.
Children of beloved Swiss skiing gold medalists Otto and Ella von Waldenberg, the twin dynamos Strauss and Fairchild burst out of the womb and onto the ice.
We hear their background story, which unfortunately led to their parents dying.
Until March 14th, 1987, when their parents died tragically in a car crash.
And they blame their sister for it. Oh, how cruel. They're not as sweet as and innocent as you think. So meanwhile, we get to see them at the podium and all hell breaks loose. How can he not touch you? You're sharing a fucking podium that's like that thin. So of course he bumps Michaels down and Michaels takes matters into his own hands. And everyone takes a snapshot. Great, you're showing great passion for the game of ice skating. I love all the other scares like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we... And as a result, poor mascot. He was in the wrong place at the wrong fucking time. Of course, they stop because everyone's looking at him in stunned silence, except for the little girl who cries because she happens to be holding a plush doll of the mascot that's on fire and is being put out in the background by the firemen. Fire, 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 fire. Rock, 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 rock. So at the Skating Federation, they have to appeal to see if they can stay on as individuals. And spoiler alert, they don't. Oh yeah, did I mention that the guy who played Jeff from Grandma's Boy is also in this movie, playing the obsessive fan, kind of like Hyper Fangirl? Michaels gives his summary in one brief statement. I am Chaz Michaels. Boom!
In accordance with the rules
It's not good enough.
of the National Skating Federation, James McElroy and Charles Michaels, you are to be stripped of your medals and banned from men's figure skating.
Okay, that seems a little bit harsh, especially for McElroy. What did he fucking do? All he did was accidentally bump Michaels down. Michaels was the more aggressive one. He knocked McElroy into other skaters, which knocked the fire down, which knocked the mascot on fire. So how does McElroy get punished for this again?
It'll all work out.
Of course, this does mean it's the end of the road. Banned for life, and McElroy is unadopting the son. Again, Parent of the Year award. What the fuck?
I don't think unadopting is the right word. Legally, I'm disowning you.
Okay, that sounds worse. Legally disowning sounds like you're treating him like a fucking slave. That's just cruel. Okay, moving on. So, how do they deal with being banned from individual skating? Well, Chaz Michaels will not quit skating. As a matter of fact, he joins a skating show 3.5 years later. Gruplets on ice. How creepy looking are the Gruplets? Oh yeah, you remember the guy who was in Hot Tub Time Machine? Also played the dickhole person that ran the U.S. Secretary underneath the President in the Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, he's in this movie too, as the director of this musical performance. Chaz Michaels has been reduced to nothing. Much like Ricky Bobby was reduced to nothing. But in this case, at least he gets to hide his shame. Kind of. Okay, what kind of an evil wizard is smiling? That does not look like an evil wizard. I'm sorry, but a moon and star-filled robe does not spell fear and evilness. Evil is wearing an evil dark robe, red face, devil horns, evil! Will, you, sir, are no evil. Meanwhile, you see what's going on in the background. A random scene that would basically be what Playboy would be doing if he were in that role. Of course, he's drunk too, because he's depressed and depraved and trying to move on with his life. Of course, in his encore performance, he's really, really drunk and has to tell a random-ass story about the other guy in the costume, and, kiddies, you might want to look away from this. And I mean the kiddies in the goddamn audience. Yes, he actually pukes in the costume. Yeah, I'd be shocked too. I paid good money to see some drunken idiot puke himself to death. There he is. Mr. Dickhole. Oh, he's pissed off. Well, that's the end of the line for Michaels. He goes from a gold medal skater to getting chucked by a bunch of popcorn and... Oh my god, he's not done with the puking. Meanwhile... McElroy is finding a way to recapture the glory with his ex-coach as these two try to relive their glory days. Except one wants to move on and the other still has the high hopes of a youthful dream and passion.
Even if you did, you gotta qualify for nationals. That's a month away. I mean, sign up is in 2 days.
It can't be that hard. I mean...
Figure skating. Give it up, Jimmy. It's like a cruel bitch mother.
Coming from the man who got fired for getting half a gold medal that ultimately got stripped. Golly almighty. Where's the optimism in the world today? Yeah, so he walks and McElroy is in a desperation move to try and find a partner. Ironically, he has to go to his bitter rival for the first all-male tandem in the history of figure skating. Which could be a developing trend nowadays. So eventually they qualify, and as you can see, their relationship is a bit rocky. Oh boy. Nice. Real nice. Glad to see they haven't changed a bit. Ooh. But eventually they patch their differences and insert success. Immediate, albeit not so super, but immediate success. As they pair up. And when you know it, one is wearing a flaming suit and the other one's like an icicle. Kind of fitting considering their relationship has been a hot-cold one. So, again, nice. The music at least is pretty good. I'll give them that. So, obviously it's not a perfect routine, but it's good enough to get them past qualifying so they can advance to the Olympic Games. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't call it that. Eventually, he does have to work out though, because good fucking god has he gotten chubby. Kind of. Wow, really? You gonna smack someone?
Robert, I know where this is going. How many times do you have to make the same mistake?
Great, and guess what the coach is thinking of? He's thinking of the Iron Lotus, of course. So, of course, the dancing instructor does not like that. So, of course, we go to seeing off his body and showing the story of the tattoos, and then he hooks him up with the rival's sister.
I have a crush on the enemy. Katie Van Waldenberg. Good choice, my man. Yeah. How's that for Forbidden
Oh, it's forbidden love, alright. Again, we are channeling our Romeo and Juliet. What, does everyone have to duplicate Romeo and Juliet?
You're two men. You should be fine.
Really? Because this fucking happened the last time you attempted the Iron Lotus. Or anyone attempted the Iron Lotus. No, you're not looking at a videographic evidence. You're not looking at a stunt double. A man accidentally sliced his partner's head off by performing the Iron Lotus. And you think it'll be fine because it's two guys? What are you, stoned? So, of course, they practice the Iron Lotus because they feel that's the routine that's going to win them their glory and get them gold at the Olympics. But first...
Really, what's so great about skating anyway?
Holy fucking shit!
Trying not to fall with a couple of jump
Man, you can't get any more hoary than that.
glitter, egos.
Although the coat's a little bit too much, don't you think? I don't like the puffiness. Meanwhile...
Sorry.
Oh my god!
Up there,
What the hell did they do to Napoleon Dynamite? I mean McElroy.
it's the only place where life makes sense.
So of course they fall in love and insert the most awkward kiss in the history of kissing.
Their death, and they forced
After they tell their dark stories. What? Should I be doing this? I mean, how fucking awkward can you get? Just put some passion! Don't hesitate! You gotta be aggressive when making these moves, god damn it!
Wow. I never really thought of that as a romantic story before.
Of course she's talking about her proclaimed murder, setting up their love life. But McElroy's like, fuck it, let's just kiss anyways. I fucking like you. Let's just see how this goes and insert awkward kiss.
We got 2 days till Montreal. I want to see an Iron Lotus.
Why is this in Montreal? What's so great about Canada? Canada's not known for ice skating. They're known for fucking hockey, god damn it. Even though the fucking Americans have won every fucking Stanley Cup in the last quarter century. Eat that, Canada!
So glad you're all here.
So, of course, what else is going on in Montreal?
Chas, would you like to...
Oh my god. If anyone was to host a sex addiction problem, the last person I would have guessed to host one would be Luke fucking Olsen.
Well, she was my yoga instructor.
Again, great choice. Why? He's like Mr. I'm so cool, I'm so sexy, I'm so attractive. Why is he hosting a damn sex addiction meeting? Why is there even one in the first place? Oh, because of the plot that's about to unfold for the enemy. They're gonna send their... Oh, we're gonna drop the guilty bomb on you by having you... Oh my god.
Easy, Chas. A big bottle of canola.
Drop the guilty bomb daughter or sister to go out with the... Oh my god. Oh, no. No, nobody needs to see this. Let's move on.
I don't want to do it again.
Get out! Move on! No one needs to see this. Why is this even in the movie in the first place? If not for the fact that this has some major twist to the fucking plot, this would not be in this goddamn movie. But again, weird as fuck.
Chaz. What? But congratulations. I feel as slimy as a...
So, of course, she doesn't do it with Michael, so what could possibly be going wrong with this scene? She's still upset. Why? Well, it still managed to break the two up. The dynamic duel of Michaels, and McElroy. How, you might ask? Well, Michaels is trying to back away, and McElroy still catches him. Wrong place, wrong time. Just like in Napoleon Dynamite, runs away like a fucking weirdo. Good God almighty. So of course, what does Michaels do? He spends the rest of the night fucking leaving nothing but a bunch of random and sometimes creepy and disturbing voice messages.
Between me and you ladies. Look, that's not coming out right. I'll explain it. Call me back, please. It's me, Chaz.
And he ends every one of them with Chaz.
I'm called friendship.
Again,
I ain't going nowhere.
1206.
I think I'm going anywhere. You're wrong. You know why? Because I will...
1206 still leaving voice message while eating Milk Duds, and I think 124. Look at all that. Oh my god, look at all the Slim Jims he's delved into. Well, at least we know someone snap into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. Oh my god, no one needs to see that. He's still leaving voice message. Look, if he didn't answer to the first 500, what makes you think any more after that is going to result in him calling you back? It's 5 o'clock in the morning and he's still leaving voice messages. He's to the point where he's singing so loud that the rest of the hotel has to put up with it. Which, by the way, that is quite an interesting design for a hotel.
It's Jimmy. If you can dream it, you can do it.
If you can dream it, you can do it. That sounds wrong, don't you think? You can dream it, you can do it. So, what if you're dreaming about doing it with the hottest chick in the world? Is that possible that you could do it? Oh, nah. Again, disturbing. So, of course, she leaves a voice message.
Jimmy, please.
But again, not fucking answering the machine.
Nice work. Somebody got busy in a big way.
No, she didn't. So... Oh my fucking god. Yeah, they chain each other up. They get kidnapped, they have to rescue each other. They realize that, hey, they've been set up to get screwed over. So, of course, they get back just in time for the most climactic skating moment ever. At least they upgraded nicely on their suit. And then... match time in Montreal. Yes, it's the Winter Sport Games, because apparently they would have been sued if they used the word Olympics or used the Olympic ring logo. He says the motto, which happens to be right fucking there, and insert this moment. Oh, and if you were getting sick and tired of Flash from the Ted movies, well... then you're not really a Queen fan, because here comes Flash. Sung by the legendary Queen. Which leads to the most climactic moment. Amy Poehler trips up their routine, and they're able to perform the Iron Lotus in reverse. Which of course is going to lead to the goal. I mean, come on, that's so fucking predictable. And of course, the truth comes out. These two are not as sweet as you think. But... yeah, because apparently the Canadians still like it when siblings are kissing each other and arrow shooting the mascot. Again, what is wrong with mascots? If you're going to take out a mascot, take out the Philly Fanatic or the newest mascot in the NHL, Grit. Because we all know Philadelphia is nothing but brotherly love. So, of course, they get thrown into the bookie by the Canadian forces, eh? By the Mounties, eh? Will gives a dramatic, emotional speech, which is anything but dramatic because it is so cliche. By the way, this is not as triumphant as him beating Jean Girard in a foot race to the finish line, but still decent enough as it is. So they... fly off. No, I'm dead serious. They fly off and pursue the dream. And leave with a flaming meteor. Because that symbolizes their meteoric rise to glory. That's Fizz Boy! Of course, they're ripping off of the ending to Hercules when their stars are showing in the sky, and thus the credits come. So that is Blades of Glory. While it's not a great sports movie, if you're into figure skating, this is not bad either. It's got some comedic humor to it. It's got its dramatic moments. The plot's actually not bad, although it kind of duplicates Talladega Nights' plot. But it kind of gets you into skating a bit, and I think that's what the objective was. Because figure skating you don't really see that much of in the real life. Unless you're watching the Winter Olympics, of course. So, this kind of gets you into figure skating, and you kind of get an idea of what figure skating is, much like with Talladega Nights kind of shows you what NASCAR is all about. So if you're into that kind of movie, then definitely check out Blades of Glory, because while it is not the best sports movie, it's not bad either. And again, how can you possibly ignore a Will Ferrell movie? At least up to the mid-2000s, and afterwards he kind of stumbled. But how could you avoid this? So again, check out Blades of Glory if you're into this figure skating stuff. I'm the CommanderZander. I remember something that sounds great, and I'm not doing, neither did you.